All right, analysis update for ReddCoin had been requested, and I'm going to start off with a very clean, unmarked chart. The reason I do this quite often is because it allows an analyst to have a good number of aha moments with regards to patterns, counts, and discernments. And by having and starting with an empty slate, a blank slate, without prior markings or pattern labels, it allows one to not be predisposed and see if starting from a blank slate would allow potential patterns and projections to be had that otherwise might not have been discerned. So here is ReddCoin to the dollar on the Bittrex feed. The 5 waves up is what I'm seeing right away here. And one thing I want to point out is this very long sideways action, going nowhere, horizontal price action. And this is going to be very common and had been very common throughout most of the altcoins. Look here. Look how long this was. Almost about a year long of nothing. Over a year. So what's clear is that the time of this is very long initially. The sideways action over a year. And in this case, it took less than 6 months of sideways action. And for the one that's probably coming up, might even be shorter. So over a year long to 6 months. And this correction will probably have, just like it did before in two rounds of it prior, we'll have a flat line sideways action region most likely, and that may last a couple months, 3 months maybe. It almost cannot be escaped, I don't think. So now let's zoom back in a little bit and count the Elliott waves. So waves 1, probably the lowest point is somewhere around, let's say here, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 5 waves are clearly placed. And after 5 waves, there has to be a retracement. That is the fractal of the impulse motive with the ABC. It repeats at every degree of trend in time. Now, note how long this wave 5 is and how vertical. So 3 and 5 are almost identical, but still it is extended. So I'm going to put here extended fifth. It is a unique personality of trait of altcoins to have their fifth wave very extended, especially on a daily chart, 4-hour chart as well. And that should give you a bit of a warning sign whenever you see price going vertical like this. Now you can say, well, look at this correction. It was right away. Yes, but this was not wave 5. Wave 5 was here. This was wave 4 and then 5. If this whole thing is a correction, and this whole thing can be labeled as an ABC, A, B, C, then one other personality trait that you need to recognize here is that quite often when there's an extended fifth, the A wave is the longest for the cryptos, and the C wave becomes shorter than the A wave. Usually in an ABC, it's A, B, and then C. C is the longest. But in cryptos, they have a personality trait where they invert that. A becomes the longest. So here, the C wave has to have 5 subwaves. And if we can count 5, so we can disregard this for the sake of the length of the video. If C wave always has 5 subwaves, let's see if we can count 5 subwaves. If you can place all of the subwaves, then there's a greater likelihood that the correction could be, at least from an ABC perspective, be placed. So I see 1, 2, 3, 4, and I believe there should be one more lower low coming, at least from the direction and move of this ABC. Like that. And this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 means there's one more lower low coming, probably equal to the top of 1, approximately. And if that's the case, it fits well into the extended fifth, going into the closer to the region of wave 2, and quite often it does go to wave 2. However, this extended fifth compared to the length of 3 is not in the multiples of 3. So it may not necessarily require going all the way down to the level of wave 2, but rather to the top of 1 region. So over the next month or so, what have you, a couple of weeks, let's say rather, into early April, this whole thing should be placed from an ABC perspective. But bear in mind, again, extended wave 5 quite often means that the price can go sideways as well. And that could last well into May or end of April. And this could last just 2 months, 2.5, 3 months maybe, while this lasted about 6 months or so. And this one lasted over a year, flatlining. And it kept getting shorter, and this will probably be shorter than the prior. And the rationale behind that is that the liquidity has matured. All right, I hope this has been helpful. More to come. Have a good day.